And welcome to the Thursday edition of FSU Weather. I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm meteorologist Jonathan Bellis, and if you haven't been outside today, it's been a cloudy, kind of dreary day, and it's starting to get a little bit cooler outside.
Yeah, it's really seeing those effects of the cool front that pushed through earlier starting to be felt here across our area. Temperatures already in the 50s.
If you're watching us from our western counties, it's already starting to fall quite a bit, whereas our eastern counties are a little bit warmer, where the clouds are a little bit hanging around a little bit more.
Yeah, Jackson County, Mariana, already down to 49 degrees as of the last check there. So very cool conditions starting to really infiltrate. Pensacola down to 41 degrees in that area. So again, really cool conditions taking hold here over the southeast as they already have across much of the country.
Yeah, much of the country is seeing some early snowfall. Indianapolis seeing snowfall, and Little Rock as well.
Yeah, and toward areas there, Little Rock picked up at the airport area, picked up about 1/10 of an inch of snow there, but about 4/10 of an inch just to the north and north in Little Rock.
Yeah, and the lake effect snow machine is turned on and across the Great Lakes today. They saw well over 2 feet of snow up in Marquette a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about up there and toward parts of Wisconsin, Michigan as well. Talking about heavy snowfall totals. They are very unusual for this time of year across those regions.
But now we're going to take it out with some cloudier skies with Matt over at Doak Campbell Stadium.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I'm out here live at beautiful Doak Campbell Stadium under some cloudy conditions here on this Thursday afternoon. It's a little bit cool outside, so definitely get those jackets out. You're going to need them, especially for the weekend. We'll have more on that later in the show. But first, let's get straight to those weather headlines. Tomorrow and into Saturday, that cold blast is coming. I assure you that. The cool weather is going to be pouring in, and for game day, it's going to be a beautiful sunny day, but we may not see those temperatures reach out of the 50s. So definitely be prepared for some cool weather coming in. And then next week, we could even see some freezing conditions in some areas. We have our first freeze watch in effect for the Big Bend region, so definitely be prepared. Bring those plants in, bring those pets in. It's going to be a cold weekend, and into next week, it's going to get even colder. But for tonight, we're expecting 39 degrees, a cold night as those temperatures dip into the 30s, and windy, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that, as that cold front pushes through, those winds are going to pick up, not really allowing those temperatures to dive too much tonight, but tomorrow is when we're really going to see the effects of this cold front. But for now, I'm live out here at Doak Campbell Stadium. I'll be back out here later with Donovan to talk more about the UM game coming up this weekend. But for now, let's send it on back to the studio.
Go ahead and talk about some January-like snow already moving into the northwest part of the country.
Yeah, they had snow in Portland today?
Yeah, getting some snowfall totals there uncharacteristic for this time of year in toward those areas like parts of Oregon getting especially this much, but even more is expected as we get later into the weekend.
But here in Tallahassee, some of our students went out to Clarn Lakes Elementary School today to a local science fair. And it's always interesting going out to Clarn Lakes. We've got a couple of pictures here for you. There were a number of projects, almost 100 projects, right?
Yeah, absolutely great. There, our meteorologist Pete Della Grata, he was out there and took some of those pictures. But right now, John, you'll go ahead and kind of take a more local look at the situation.
Yeah, heading out to Clarn. It was a cloudy day today. Look at those clouds still hanging around this afternoon. Still, it's going to be a while, and I think these clouds are going to finally get out of our hair by sunrise tomorrow morning. But there are a couple of showers, mainly just some drizzle off towards our west. It's going to be a line of showers just moving slowly through the area. This is well behind the cool front, so it's starting to get a little bit cooler off towards our west. But those temperatures aren't going to fall too fast because of all that cloud cover. Still sitting at 60 degrees, and I think we're going to be there for a couple hours until the sun goes down and we start to get some mixing in the atmosphere. And these northwest winds are going to kick in at 9 miles an hour, and it's going to really force that drier, cooler air in. You can start to see that up towards our northwest. 49 degrees in Mariana right now, 54 in Bainbridge, 65 in St. Marks, and off towards our east, we're talking 60s and 70s for Taylor and Madison County right now. Not seeing that effect of the cool front right now. And they're still very moist out towards the east as well. 61 degrees is the dew point right now, and that's as far as they can right now. But off towards the north and west, that dry air is starting to work in. We're starting to feel a little bit drier outside. You might need that chapstick off towards the north and west. And those northwest winds are going to blow that dry air down towards the south and east, and that's going to allow our temperatures to fall during the overnight hours. But look at this cloud deck. Some high clouds pushing into Georgia, but this cloud deck, these low clouds that dark gray color go all the way back to Tupelo, down into Meridian, Mississippi, and even into Louisiana. And it's going to take until early tomorrow morning to get that sun into here and that radiation to come in from the north and west to allow us to warm up at the surface. But that cold front has gone through. As I said, it's going to take a while for these clouds to get out of our area, but the temperatures are going to fall quite a bit during the overnight hours. This is going to be the kind of the first hiccup for your weekend forecast. We're going to see cooler temperatures tonight, and then we're going to see even cooler temperatures as we head into the early parts of next week. High pressure is going to take control during the overnight hours tonight. That's what's going to allow us to drop during the early morning hours, and then sunshine for the next couple of days. And then we have another cool front coming in towards Sunday and Monday. And that's when we're going to start to see some more tumultuous weather. 39 degrees tonight, though, with clouds clearing towards sunrise. Wind, it's going to be a little bit breezy, and that's going to keep the temperatures up and away from freezing tonight. 58 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be very cool tomorrow. It's going to feel a little bit cooler because of those north-northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, I want to take a couple of minutes to talk about this boating forecast. It's going to be a bumpy day out in the Gulf. North winds at 20 knots with seas upwards of up to 8 feet. Small craft advisory is in effect through tomorrow morning. That's, again, when the clouds are going to clear and that's when the seas are going to come down. If you're heading to Miami, that front's going to follow you down there. And we're talking 65 degrees for Saturday here in Tallahassee, going back up to the low 70s on Sunday and Monday. And then that front comes through on Monday, drops the temperatures down into possibly the upper 20s on Wednesday and Thursday morning. Now, Zach, you've got more of a look around the southeast.
Indeed I do. Indeed I do. Today's high temps, guys, check it out. We did end up at 66 degrees here in our capital city, and then down south, those 80s. They're slowly leaving the United States because right behind it, you see all those blues and greens representing the 40s, even some 30s creeping in towards Texas and Oklahoma as well. Currently across the southeast, though, those temperatures have gone down now that the sun has set. 58 and cloudy in Tallahassee, 45 in Montgomery, 37 in Tupelo. Mississippi saw some snowfall earlier today, and that is also going alongside with some of these cooler temperatures. 70 in Savannah and warmer down south with 78 in Key West, 79 in Miami. Those 70s won't be sticking around for much longer, though, as that cold front continues to sweep across. The cold front's actually draped right across the panhandle of Florida, about to push through Orlando, and so you would actually think, due to the temperature gradient, it's sweeping through across our region right now. Actually, it swept through earlier when we saw those winds, and we'll show you a wind map in just a second, but you saw just a little water, a little rainfall and snowfall behind the front pushing through. You can see water vapor imagery showing a lot of that cloud cover representing the water as well. The dark region over the Gulf of Mexico representing some dry air. That will eventually some dry air pushing into our region as well. Current wind speeds 13 in Tally, 7 in Orlando, 6 in Miami, 21 in Atlanta. So those winds are picking up, and that's going to continue into tomorrow. Winds as high as 10, 15 miles an hour. Closer to the coast, could see gusts up to 25. Here's our future cast for the southeast. As you can see, the clouds do sweep out rapidly tomorrow. Sunny skies across all of the southeast. No real rainfall to be concerned of. Now, our next big front we're looking at sweeping in on Saturday and Sunday, which could even drop our temperatures further. Tonight, though, we're looking at 30s and 20s across most of our region. 26 in Atlanta, 24 in Tupelo, 23 in Little Rock, 50s and 60s down south. And then tomorrow, if you want those 80s, go to Miami, folks. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting in the 50s. But we're going to send it back to the desk with Casey and John.
This seems like the real first winter blast of, at least for the Great Lakes and even over towards the northwest, snow falling now in Indianapolis and Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm getting into a lot of snowy conditions in toward those areas. Unusual for this time of year. Really don't expect to see this weather set up really until late December into January. It almost feels kind of like Christmas across parts of the nation.
Yeah, they had one of the earliest snowfalls this morning in Little Rock, and they had some icy conditions in Dallas and also in northern Mississippi this morning.
Yeah, getting into some sleet into toward North Texas. Also, of course, into Mississippi, but now into toward areas around Oregon and into Washington State as well. We're watching potentially for some potentially snowy conditions into one of those areas.
And that's going to slide towards the east. Now, we're not talking snow here, but maybe a little bit of rain, some clouds, but definitely some cooler conditions as we head into tomorrow.
Yeah, we're also talking about potentially some sleet as we get in toward some of our central part of the country as well, talking about Kansas City over to St. Louis as we get later into the weekend. Rare for them.
Yeah, if you can travel, you want to get to that warmer air, head down to the Miami game this weekend, or head out west to California or Arizona.
Yeah, Miami game, FSU playing them on Saturday, expecting conditions to be much warmer in toward that area. But right now we're going to go and take a national look at the weather situation with Matthew.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Let's look at these current temperatures across the nation because Jack Frost is making himself known a little bit early this winter, and we can really clearly see that with those current temperatures. You see that polar air digging in right through the middle of the country, and that's going to be pushing down into our area later on in the weekend. But let's take a look at that satellite and radar to begin with, because there's quite a bit going on and quite a bit of snowfall. As John mentioned earlier, the machine that is lake effect snow has really turned on up here. See all this snowfall indicated by the blues and the lighter blues up here? That is quite a bit of snowfall, especially lake effect snow in parts of Indianapolis and the surrounding states as well. Down here in our area, we have that cold front draped across us, creating a cloudy day outside, a cool and cloudy day. It felt like a New York winter, if you want to call it that, in our area. But our next big winter weather maker is going to be this guy right up here near Seattle. That's causing quite a bit of rain and some snowfall into the mountains. That's going to start pushing on through the country, and that will be providing us with a big shot of cool weather early into next week. Let's take a look on that satellite and radar. Here's that lake effect snowfall I told you about, really dumping quite a bit of snow rather on the ground in Indianapolis and in parts of Michigan close to those lakes. Now let's take it down south here in Tallahassee. We see some showers and some sprinkles of showers actually just impacting points westward of us, but it's not all bad out there because we got the snow here in the northwest, but down in the southwest is where it's sunny and mild. So Phoenix, all the states down here, California, Phoenix, New Mexico, you're looking quite beautiful for this time of year, even a little bit warm sometimes. But now let's go ahead and move on to the future cast temperatures. This is a really interesting graphic because you could see at 8 p.m. tonight, this is where the temperatures will be lying. And as we move on into the evening and the overnight hours, look at this cool weather pushing on down into the country and really starting to rapidly cool us down. Winter weather advisories in effect throughout the entire nation, really causing quite a bit of headaches and some travel headaches as well, but nothing to read about right now here in the Northeast. But San Francisco, you've got a bit of a delay with some foggy conditions out there, but the delay will not be lasting too much longer. Let's move into tonight's forecast. It's going to be another frigid night across the country, -4 degrees in Billings. Then into tomorrow, it's a lot rebounds somewhat nicely, even though Billings, I love picking on Billings because you're really cold. It only rebounds to 13 degrees. But I'm going to hightail it back out to Doak Campbell Stadium. But for now, let's send it over to Casey.
That's right. Thanks so much, Matthew. Let's get a little closer look to home, in fact, of the weather situation. We're sitting at 58 degrees right now here in the metro area, the regional airport, at least reading that observation. Those skies really overcast as the sun's setting across our area. Now, those winds, also a bit of a factor out there, making it feel even cooler than it really is. Right now, gusting to around 13, maybe even a little bit higher than that here across our region. Satellite and radar kind of taking a little bit closer look. We see those clouds really infiltrating our area. Now, out to our west, we see that we're starting to get some breaks in these clouds, and that's going to provide for an opportunity to get even cooler tonight as the sky really kind of gives the opportunity, and the weather situation does, to get cooler, not having those clouds, keeping those temperatures up as they have been over the last few hours. Now, temperatures right now, you can see where the cloud cover is really starting to break. 47 in Marianna right now in Jackson County. Here in the metro area, though, we're sitting at 58, more cloud cover here, and even more cloud cover as we get to Perry. There's 68 degrees in toward Taylor County. Now, those dew points, this also tells the story. We see wherever those clouds are, really the dew points reflecting in that. We're talking about the moisture content, 47 here in Tallahassee, but much lower as we get off toward our north and west, only 29 in Montgomery. And you can see the moisture content higher where there's more clouds and the cool front as this passed through, Gainesville 63, Jacksonville 64. Now, satellite and radar, this kind of tells the story as well. As we see this cloud cover we see has moved to past areas around Mobile, Pensacola, except for a few upper level clouds, but the higher and really thicker clouds also are around and parked over our area, keeping those temperatures a little warmer for now. But that's going to change as the cool blast of air really will continue to move through later this evening and into tomorrow. As we get into Friday, this cool weather will continue. High pressure will kind of start to take control here across our area. Nice weather conditions, but very cool here. Getting into Saturday as well. We'll be sunny going around campus, going around our area. Now, going ahead and getting in toward the forecast out for tonight. Again, those clouds will be clearing overnight. 39 here in the metro area, even cooler. Some of our rural areas, 36 in toward Bainbridge and Decatur County. And tomorrow, only warming up into the mid to upper 50s, 58 in Tallahassee, 57 in Quincy. 7-day forecast tells the story. We see those temperatures. They will be warming up some. We're talking about some rain also, and getting into the forecast with another cool front, and that's going to cool temperatures off even more. But right now, we're going to go ahead and take it over to Matthew and Donovan at Doak Campbell Stadium.
All right, thank you so much, guys. We're here at beautiful Doak Campbell Stadium on this somewhat cloudy Thursday afternoon with that cold front starting to push in. But it's starting to cool down a little bit out here.
It is. It's much cooler than it was 24 hours ago, and we expect these temperatures to continue dropping into the weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we've talked about that earlier in the show, and we're going to be talking about that later in the show. But Donovan, we're here at Doak Campbell Stadium, which can only mean one thing: football.
That's right, and it feels like football weather today, and it's going to feel like that going into the weekend. However, down in Miami, they're calling for some pretty warm temperatures. Around that 8 p.m. kickoff, they're calling for lower 70s. So it's going to be a big game this weekend.
I'm really excited about this game. It's going to be one of the biggest in-state college football rivalries in the nation, as the hurricane warnings are out because we're playing this weekend.
That's right. Those hurricane warnings are out this weekend. We're going down there to try and stop them. This is going to be a big game for us. A lot of history behind this matchup too. A lot of big matchups during the 90s, and this year the significance is just the same. It's a big game for us.
And it's not going to be any different from games past. It's going to be exciting, thrilling, and we here at Florida State like to always give us a very thrilling finish to a game. That's for sure.
Right. Absolutely. We've seen a few of those this year.
Yeah, a bit of I got some gray hairs from some of them, but we'll talk about gray hairs more later on in the show. We'll be back out here live again later. But for now, we're going to send it back to the north side of campus, to the studio.
Thank you, guys. You can see all that cloud cover at Doak Campbell Stadium sticking in here around Tallahassee, much of the Big Bend, and starting to cool things off in Orlando down to Tampa in the 70s. But down towards the south is where the heat is in the interior of the peninsula, still in the 80s. But off towards the west, you can see where that drier and cooler air is already working in. 41 degrees in Pensacola right now, falling into the 30s up into Alabama and Mississippi. They had sleet this morning in northern Mississippi. That's not going to affect us here, but we will see a couple of rain showers as this works through. Here's a picture of all of the cloud cover that's working through the state right now. Look, there's just a little bit less cloud cover back towards the west. That's what's allowing Pensacola to cool off right now. That's going to happen here as we head towards sunrise tomorrow morning. Lots of moisture on the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's what we're looking at here. This is also going to scoot down towards the south and allow us to dry off and cool off as well. But for now, there's a couple of showers pushing through Defuniak Springs up towards Mariana, really drying out as that dry air is starting to overtake these lines of shower activity. Really not a whole lot going on in central Panhandle right now. A couple of showers down towards southern Taylor County. But really, all of this is starting to dry out. It's going to be a dry night overall, and all of this is going to head down towards the south. This front is going to make its way down through the peninsula, down through Miami. Over the next couple of days, these clouds will be clearing out by tomorrow morning from west to east and northwest to southeast. So we're going to dry out and we're going to cool off towards the morning. We're only going to make it into the upper 50s tomorrow morning, and that's only the real first cool shot that we're going to see here in Tallahassee and across the Big Bend. We're going to see another shot and a stronger shot as we head into the middle parts of next week. 39 is our forecast low for tonight here in Tallahassee. We're going to drop that by about 10 degrees as we head towards the middle part of next week. First freeze will be occurring, or a freeze will be occurring in Pensacola tonight. 44 in Jacksonville. If you want the warm air, you're going to have to head south. Still near 70 degrees in Key West, rebounding back up into the mid to upper 70s in Key West, 80 degrees still in Miami with that cool front still falling down towards the south, 58 degrees in Tallahassee, 55 with sunshine in Pensacola tomorrow afternoon, and we're heading back up towards the weekend with temperatures heading back into the 60s and 70s. But now, Casey, we've got a quick look in the tropics.
That's right. Thanks so much, Jonathan. And as we do so, we'll go ahead and kind of delve into this and see that there's not really too much going on in terms of any tropical disturbances, things like that. We do have a little bit of cloud cover to the northeast of Bermuda, moving away. Also some cloud cover in the Caribbean, but really not expecting anything else to develop here, at least over the next week or two in the tropics as hurricane season comes to an end at the end of November. Now, taking a look and kind of reviewing the weather situation here and reviewing hurricane season, we have, of course, had Hurricane Arthur early on. That impacted the North Carolina coastline, also Virginia coastline as well. Pretty significant impacts. But besides that, really none of these storms have had too big of an impact on the United States. We have also had two major hurricanes, talking about Edward and Gonzalo, but neither one of those having an impact here on the U.S. Now, going ahead and kind of taking a look at the current conditions here across the tri-state area, we're sitting here at 58 degrees right now in the metro area, but off toward our north and west, much cooler air, really far behind this cool front, sitting at 45 in Montgomery, 40 in Pensacola, and 40 in Meridian. Extremely cool conditions. That's because of the cloud cover moving away from there after the cool front has already passed through. That cool front actually down toward Tampa and Orlando, but just the cloud cover hasn't quite moved through our area yet, meaning that the temperatures are staying a little bit warmer for now, but it's going to get cool tonight. 39 degrees here in the metro area, 30 in Dothan, 24 in Montgomery, 23 in Meridian. Extremely cool temperatures in toward those communities. And tomorrow's forecast, we see 58 here in the metro area, struggling to even get out of the 30s in Tupelo, getting to about 41 degrees in toward that area. But right now, we're going to go and take it back over to Donovan and Matthew.
All right, thank you so much, guys. We're back out here in Doak Campbell Stadium under this cloudy sky, as we said earlier. But we wanted to talk about something that a lot of people have seen all around campus, and that's that fall foliage.
That's right. We're just being decorated with some beautiful red, orange, and yellow at our feet as these temperatures drop and the leaves are falling to the ground. Fall is definitely here.
Yeah, that fall foliage forecast, try saying that one 10 times fast, definitely nailed it on the head this week. They stated that the first and second week of November and into the first half of November is when we would see the biggest change in those leaves.
Yep, they were absolutely right, and that just means that you're going to have to break out those rakes, get the trash bags out, as it's just going to be pouring all over campus. But you know what? This is a beautiful mess. I'm not mad at all about that.
I like that. Beautiful mess. That's a good way to put it. We actually caught this footage outside of Doak Campbell Stadium of those leaves, the yellows, the reds, and why are we talking about leaves? Well, I enjoy it quite a lot. I'm from South Florida, and I never get to see something like this.
That's right. Well, I'm from North Carolina, and they actually have already seen basically all the leaves have fallen. It's bare trees up there, but you know what? When these leaves fall, it makes me feel better about these cooler temperatures.
Yeah, I know you're not a huge fan of the cooler temperatures, and if you're not a huge fan of the cooler temperatures, watch out for this weekend and into next week, because we could be seeing the 20s knocking on our door later on.
That's right. We actually have a freeze warning in effect for Friday and going into Saturday morning. We could see temperatures reach 29 degrees, which would be the lowest we've seen all year.
Yeah, it's going to be a very cold weekend, but nonetheless, it's a game day weekend. And that's why we're out here at Doak, celebrating and really getting pumped up for the UM game.
That's right. It's a big game this weekend, like we were talking about a while ago. I'm very excited. It's going to be some cooler temperatures wherever you're watching the game, however, for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be cool outside, but for now, Donovan and I are going to go ahead and hightail it back to the studio so we can catch you guys one last time at the final desk. But for now, we're out here at Doak Campbell Stadium. Back to you guys in the studio.
Hey, thanks, guys. Our current conditions, it is chilly outside at Doak. 58 degrees, those overcast skies, and a 47-degree dew point. Now, that dew point is slowly beginning to go down, which in turn will also take down our humidity. But what isn't going down? Those winds, north and northwest at 13 miles an hour. They're going to continue into the day tomorrow, even closer to the coastline. We'll be looking at gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. Currently, though, our temperatures, well, it's a very colorful map. You can see the 60s, even very close to 70 near Perry at 68, 58, 10-degree difference in Tally. And then Another 10-degree difference near Marianna, 47 degrees. So it is a chilly discrepancy from west to east, and that's because that cold front swept through our region. Now it's not a wet cold front. You can see a lot of the rainfall that was to our west pushing through Tallahassee that has fallen apart. So we haven't really seen much rainfall today. So thank goodness for that, but it is still chilly, and here's why. We've got a cold blast due to this Arctic cold front. The Arctic air coming down from the Arctic Circle and bringing quite a lot of cold air with it. Now this low pressure behind me is going to begin to push off the Atlantic coast, and in turn that cold air going to continue to filter in for your Friday and Saturday. But high pressure from the Midwest is going to begin to build in on Saturday before yet another front sweeps through on Sunday. So your game day, yeah, it is an away game against Miami, but it is going to be rather sunny and still a little bitter cold. Here's our current temperatures and wind. This is not any sort of a forecast, just kind of putting it in perspective how cold it truly is. You can see 58 and a northwesterly wind, northwesterly here in Tally, but 37 in Tupelo, 36 in Memphis, 40 in Little Rock, and 39 in Shreveport. So that is just kind of an idea as to what's heading towards us over the next few days. Tonight we're looking at 39 clouds. Will continue to clear overnight, and those windy conditions will continue with northwest winds at 10 to 15. Tomorrow, here's your Friday forecast. Clear morning, clear day, and clear night. It's going to be 40s, 50s, 52 by noon, and then 56 when that sun sets at 6, rapidly cooling as well in that 7-day forecast. Again, we're at Miami, 65, and then 70s on Sunday before yet another front sweeps through on Monday and Tuesday.
That sounds like delightful weather. I'm back. I ran back here from Doak.
You've been running quite a lot, my friend.
I know, I've been in and out, but it's at least it's cool outside.
It is cool. It is cool, and it could get a whole lot cooler. We saw even some 29-degree weather on Tuesday and Wednesday as well.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about that. I appreciate the 60s and the 50s, but as soon as we start getting to the 20s, I'm inside.
Well, you know, being from Virginia for most of my life, I'm used to that cooler weather. I'm excited to see those 20s kind of creeping back in. And, you know, even though it's not snow weather, we aren't forecasting any snow, but, you know, we're getting that cooler temperatures down. So it's possible that maybe some snow next semester. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, as I said earlier, Jack Frost is knocking on the door here.
Oh,
it seems
yes,
like a little
he
bit
is.
early.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some snowfall in Mississippi today as well. And Little Rock also seeing their first real snowfall in the month of November. But again, no snowfall in our 7-day forecast, just some rain Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's due to that next big front. Look at that temperature swing from Monday to Tuesday.
Wow, that's quite a dip in temperature. It's actually more like a dive.
It is a dive, yeah, and then the 20s on Wednesday and Thursday morning as well when you're waking up. So it is going to be chilly next week.
I'm preparing myself mentally for that. I got my winter gear already set out and ready to go. But for social media, you can catch us everywhere.
Yes, Facebook, FSU Weather, Twitter, Instagram as well. We'll be Instagramming a lot of those fall foliage pics you mentioned earlier in the show as of reports as well. But it's been a cool one.
Yeah, I do love my fall foliage, but for now, I'm student meteorologist Matthew Reagan.
And I'm student meteorologist Zach Covey. Have a great evening from all of us at FSU Weather. Good show.